purses into sculptures. This purse is made entirely of the bills of the Venezuelan currency, the bolivares. Inflation is so high that this money is now completely worthless. And so my friend Jorge over here has gathered a ton of this stuff and turned it into commodities, into purses, into sculptures.
It is worse than it sounds, and it sounds pretty bad.
The country's inflation rate will rise to 1,000,000%.
Esto lo que yo tengo aquí, el que estuviera esto en Venezuela tenía plata, era millonario.
More than 1 million Venezuelans have moved into Colombia in recent years. And in an era of record-setting migration, when borders seem to be getting thicker, harder to cross, Colombia is doing something that you don't see very often. It's opening its doors and it's letting people in.
The border crisis is shocking. It's a real humanitarian crisis.
This purse is made entirely of the bills of the Venezuelan currency, the bolivares. Inflation is...
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rucha HaKudash. And double on to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who taught us his truth and rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rucha HaKudash Barakatam. It's the brother Kazak coming back at it again with another lesson. Alright, and hey man, this is all through the spirit, man. You know, it's crazy. I just put this on my story, but now, you know, the caption right here, what does it say? This will happen in the United States soon. Keep printing that money. You know, better start practicing your origami skills. You know, I find it kind of humorous, you know. But hey, with all that being said, you know, this is you know, really coming to Babylon, man. All right, because you have, you know, Russia, the BRICS, all right, China, India, Brazil, all right, Russia. I just stated them as well, but you know, and I believe Mexico is going to join them in the near future. All right, hey man, you know, they making moves against that Babylonian currency, man. They're making moves against that US dollar. You know, and real soon it's going to be a situation like this is going to happen to Babylon, man. It's going to happen here in Babylon. Okay, 1,000,000%. That's the spirit. 1,000,000% inflation, man. All right, that's what's going to happen to Babylon, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, the Heavenly Father, he's saving this place for last, man. All right, because as I, you know, as I stated many times through the spirit, this place is the epicenter of wickedness, man. Therefore, this place is going to get it the worst. All right, it's going to get it the worst, man. Okay, now let's get the scriptures. All right, because this is all prophecy. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 24. Okay, and what does it say? Behold, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and it turneth upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. Right? You know, making, you know, when the earth is empty, you know, what does that mean? You know, that there's no food in the stores, right? There's no crops, because that's being, you know, done away with. Okay, with all the food plants being destroyed, you have a lot of you know, a lot of things going on in you know, behind the curtains, you know, and guess what? That's going to bring about famines, man. All right, so you take that coupled with, you know, the US dollar crashing, you're going to have utter chaos, man. All right, and there's going to be a lot of judgment in that chaos. Okay, what does it say? Maketh it waste and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. Right? You know, because hey, when it's a city and there's no food going into that city, are people going to stay in that city? No, people are going to be migrating. All right, matter of fact, that's actually a manifestation right here. You know, when it talks about the you know, the migration, you know, you see that right there, a highway, you know, full of people. It just switched, you know, but you saw that right there, you know, with the highway, you know, full of people trying to get into one direction. I think that was you know, Venezuelans, which really is the tribe of Asher, you know, Hebrew Israelites, trying to get into Colombia, you know, the fellow, you know, country, you know, or it's like not a fellow, another country, you know, and then you have that situation at the, you know, at the U.S. border, man. You know, the situation with the U.S. border, you know, thousands upon thousands of, you know, South Americans, you know, Venezuelans, Colombians, really, you know, primarily the tribe of Asher. You know, you got the tribe of Zebulon amongst them as well, you know. But you got a lot of that going on, you know, and meanwhile, these Babylons are acting hella proud, man. You know, hella proud. You know, their hearts are, you know, turned cold to these, their hearts are hardened towards, you know, the so-called South Americans, man. You know, and wait till it happens to them. See, that's the hypocrisy of this place, man. You know, Salakia, but that's the real hypocrisy towards this place, man. When it's the other way around, you know, when it's Asher, you know, so-called Latinos trying to come in, oh nah, kick them out, you know, install machine guns at the border, you know, this, that, and the third, don't let them in, right? But nobody says anything about these Edomites, you know, in Babylon fleeing towards Mexico, you know, because they know shit's about to hit the fan here, man. All right, but it's cool because ain't no escaping this judgment, man. All right, because once America falls, man, hey, a lot of countries are gonna fall too. It's good. It's gonna hit the economy, the world economy, man. It's not just gonna be Babylon, you know. But let's continue on. All right, verse 2. And it shall be, and this is the key point right here. All right, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priest. Okay, so see what it's doing is, in this verse, is going to describe the different positions of transactions. Okay, as with the people, so with the priest. Why? Because the people pay sacrifices and tithes and tributes unto the priests. As with the servant, so with the master. Right, because the servant works for the master for a wage. As with the maid, so with her mistress. Right, that's the female equivalent. As with the buyer, so with the seller. Right, you got all these markets. All that's going to go out the window. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Basically, the rich and the poor. It don't matter what position you're in. You're going to be in the same spot. Because that dollar isn't going to be worth anything, man. All right? That dollar is going to be worth nada. Okay? Verse 3, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. For Yahweh Hashem Hawashah had spoken this word. It has spoken this word. Right? And that's what's going to happen. Okay? You're going to start seeing empty markets. No more food. You know? The same way it manifested in Venezuela, you know, truly that's due to, you know, that's in part, you know, sorry, not in part, you know, that's primarily caused by the sanctions that Babylon put on it. You know, see, nobody wants to talk about that. You know, how this place has a hand, you know, these devils here in Babylon, these Edomites, they have a hand in destabilizing the so-called the tribes, man. You know, really, he destabilizes the whole world, man. You know, so he could what's it called? So he could maintain that preeminency. You know, and he definitely destabilizes Latin America, which are the 10 tribes of Israel, right there, man. That's where the majority of them are living at. You know, definitely has a lot of destabilization over there, a lot of poverty. All right, here it is. These are one of the most, you know, rich places in the world, you know, as far as resources go. Right. But for some reason, you know, there's so many, you know, obstacles in the way of you know, the so-called Latinos getting them resources, man. You know, and it's because of these devils. And also, too, the curses, man. The curses of Deuteronomy 28. You know, because, hey, the so-called Latinos is the 12 tribes of Israel, man. All right, so-called Latinos, Native Americans, you know, up here, you know, but, you know, primarily focusing, you know, down there, you know, that's the curses, man. You know, so, hey, that's the curses of them being the tail and not the head, you know, on the side note. All right, but what's going to happen now when the economy collapses, man? All right, this is what the scriptures say it's going to happen. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. All right, what does it say? We're going to start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right. For there shall be sedition among men. Right. And invading one another. Exactly. All right, there's going to be sedition, man. What is sedition? When people rebel against the government. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of that here, man. Matter of fact, it's going to be, it's already, you know, taking place. You know, the whole situation with Donald Trump, You think that you think them right side, right wing Edomites, them gun ho Edomites. You think they're just gonna sit there and let that happen? No. But that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He attacking this place internally, externally, from all angles. This place is going to go down. All right, because our kingdom is coming. Okay, but let's continue. What does it say? In invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. It's going to be utter chaos, man. What's that word? Pandemonium. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right. Why? Because that's martial law. Okay. When martial law happens, when martial law is enacted, all right, they shut things down. They put curfews. They everything is heavily regulated. Everything is locked down. That's another reason why they want to take away the guns. That's one thing in the manifestation. That's how martial law is going to happen. All right, because this devil is waging his false flags to take away and heavily regulate the guns. Basically the Second Amendment. And it's not to be all political into that. But it's all prophecy, man. All right, because what do the people who are for the gun ho, basically the people that are for the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms, what do they say? All right, when a government is about to become tyrannical and draconian, and about to do their people wrong, that they take away the guns. So that's just another element to observe when it comes to that martial law. All right, look what they're about to do. Look what they're, not about to do, what they're doing. They're taking away the guns. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? Pride, man. It's a lot of pride out here. It's a lot of, men being lovers of themselves. A lot of ego. A lot of, people thinking, they're all that. It's too much pride, man. No fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Especially amongst our people. All right, and because of that, what? The city shall be destroyed. The houses shall be, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? It ain't gonna be none of that. I'm the shit type of spirit, man. It ain't gonna be none of that, man. It's gonna be a fearful, when all hell breaks loose, man. All these tough guys, all these rich guys, the fly boys, the players, the high value males, which really the highest value male is the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in this truth. But all that's gonna be taken away. All right, all the the power of that Babylon gives unto the wicked and these worldly ass people is going to be taken away, man. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right. I'm going to read this again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because this is a key point. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah. It's not just going to be a thing where, no food happens and people are calm. No. In that day, in that hour, you're going to be hearing gunshots in the streets, gunshots next door, children crying, women crying, people getting killed of all types, of all manner, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not a respecter of persons. I'm going to read this again. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Yeah, that's how bad it's going to get. Why? Because, hey, it's you or me. That's the spirit that these Babylonians are going to be in. All right, think about it. They've been programmed their whole lives to be this way. You look at the movies, all the media, the rap music. They've been programmed their whole lives. Also in part, hey, these elites, they have their agenda, man. The Georgia Guidestones, They want to, depopulate the world. All this is by their designs, But either way, it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai putting the spirit in them to enact these agendas, so he could take them down with it. All right, because hey, they trying to, what's the word? They trying to bring in their new world order. Well, guess what? They're gonna fall. That's not gonna happen. Okay, but let's continue on but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right, because of the lack of bread, famines, inflations, gasoline, the eggs, all that stuff is being high priced. The meat. Hey, real soon is gonna be everything, man. Everything that's food. It's gonna be high priced because that dollar's gonna be worth nothing, man. It's only gonna get worse from here. All right. There's another scripture too I wanted to get, dealing with the food. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. All right, what does it say? All right, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Exactly. All right, because hey, you got them fires and explosions, suspicious activities going on with the food plants, man, all across America. It's all by design, man. It's all intentional. Okay, because these elites are trying to establish their NWO. All right, where they're going to create a big, a crisis, and a crisis that's going to affect each and every single person. So they could be herded into taking that MOTB, which is the CHIP. That's what it is, man. All right, that's the hour of temptation. That's why all these things are happening. Okay, but the elect is going to be delivered, man. All right. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Exactly. All right. The sown places represent the fields. The crops. They're gonna appear what? Unsown, as if nothing was ever planted, meaning empty, and that connects with Isaiah 24. Emptiness. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right. What's that talking about? The stores, and even further than the stores, the distribution centers. The warehouses, the train stations. It's gonna be a lot of raiding going on, man. Because these people they gonna be in a stampede. And it's only gonna be the elect that's gonna survive, man. All right. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, and when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Right. It's gonna be fearful, man. Right, because hey, it's talking about these prophecies. When because you see what's going on is crazy, because when you look at these different channels, you get the occasional channel here and there, basically people in the world, where they're starting to acknowledge what time we're in, man. They're starting to acknowledge the fact that all hell's getting ready to break loose. And that's causing great fear to come upon the hearts of men, because they know that hey, it's going to be a lot of judgment, man. Verse 24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Yeah. People are going to be put in a primal state because they've been raised to be carnal their whole lives. They've been in a beastly vibration their whole lives. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in the 3 hours they shall not run. Right. But hey, what did it say? Men shall fight friends shall fight one another like enemies. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of betrayals going on. At the end, all you could do is trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right. What does it say? Verse 25, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of the world. Right. And the end of your world. Right. Because basically, You know, this is representing a time period. You know, it's not, when it says the end of the world, it doesn't mean that the world is gonna, you know, blow up or something. You know, it just means that an era is ending, and that's the era of Esau. All right, the era of these Edomites, the so-called white people. You know, with all the destruction that they did. You know, there's this one dude I was watching on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? He talking about how these devils used to what's it called, sterilize the so-called Latino women back then, man. You know? So it's proper that this devil's time is coming to an end, man. He had his reign. Okay, but guess what? Our kingdom is coming. All right? Matter of fact, it says it right here. Okay, jumping up to verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, right? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Exactly. That's what it is, man. All right? That's why all these things are happening. Because Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is ushering in a new heavens and a new world. Really, he's ushering a new order. A true order. Not with these elites, these wicked ass Edomites on top. You know, these different banking families, the Rothschilds and so on are trying to establish. No. But something that comes from the heaven. You know, hint, hint, the so-called UFOs. You know? That's our people right there, man. That's the angels. And Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus Christ, he's coming on a big one. On the fathership. That's how it's going to be introduced, man. All right? World domination. Okay, but I'm going to read this again. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. That's why these things are going on. All right, it's the transition, the great transition. Okay, so let's go to, let me see, the book of, add another one. The book of Job. Is it, yeah, 5 and 20. We're going to start at 19, really 19. So what does it say? The book of Job, chapter 5 and 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Right. It's talking about who? The elect. All right. Some people back there. But now this is talking about the elect. Okay. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, and in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. The 7th represents the ICBM missiles hitting this place, man. Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Right. So, hey, all that, you know, all the what's it called? The calamities that are coming here on Babylon, whether it be the inflation, the economic collapse, the famines, the chaos, right? The elect is going to be delivered from that, man. The 1/3 remnant of the nation of Israel, or the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to be delivered from that. Lord willing, we're of that number. And in war from the power of the sword, right? Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, persecution. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Right. So that's talking about the wild animals, man. You know, you might come across a bear. A bear might bring you fish. You know, a mountain lion might bring you deer. You know, that's the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. And thou shalt know that thy seed shall be great, right? The seed of Israel, man. Okay, this thing ain't for everybody, man. This thing ain't for the whole world. It's for the so-called black, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, and then you got the Israelite foreigners that have been scattered abroad. But that does not include all these other nations, man. Okay? It's only for Israel. Even further, it's only for the elect. All right? That offspring as the grass of the earth, right? Because that's going to be when the kingdom comes, man. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in the season. Yeah, basically, moving on from that, that's basically talking about how it's going to be peace on earth afterwards, man. All right, because our kingdom is going to be established. All right, we're no longer going to be living in the valley of the shadow of death, man. Where you could be 16 years old. You walk down the street and a stray bullet hits you, man. A police, a fucking trigger happy Edomite cop shoots you down, man, on a traffic stop. You don't even make it out the womb. Your demonic mother, aborts you, man. This is Babylon, man. That's why we look for a new heavens and a new earth. Okay, that's why we rejoice when we see these things, man.
Border crisis is shocking. The real humanitarian crisis.
Panics.
This purse is made entirely of
Us in this knowledge,
the bills
man,
of the Venezuelan currency, the bolivares.
We're
Inflation
gonna
is so
rejoice,
high that this money is now
It's
completely
gonna be like that movie
worthless.
Troy,
So
when
my friend
that
Jorge over
king
here
was in
has
the midst of the
gathered
city.
a ton of this stuff and
And
turned it
he was
into
watching,
commodities,
his
into
men burn the
sculptures.
city down. He's like, burn Troy.
It is
burn
worse than it
Troy. That's
sounds,
gonna
and
be
it
us,
sounds
man.
pretty bad.
We're gonna be happy.
The country's inflation
know that
rate will rise
this
to
devil's on his
1
way out.
million%.
And our power,
Esto lo que yo tengo aquí, el que
And our,
tuviera esto en Venezuela
governance,
tenía plata, era millonario.
under Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is going to be established.
More than 1 million Venezuelans have moved into
All right.
Colombia in
So with
recent
that, I'm gonna
years.
say, call
And
Allah
in an era
Yahweh
of
Shem
record-setting
Yahushai,
migration,
Bashir
when
Makar
borders seem to
Hadash,
be getting
giving
thicker,
this
harder to
this lesson,
cross,
or when this lesson was
Colombia
edifying.
is doing something that you
All right,
don't
with
see
that, I'm gonna
very
say,
often.
Shalom.
It's opening its
On to the
doors
next.